Hey everybody, Cliff Yates. Welcome to the Cliff Yates channel. Hey, we're going live today, vertical mode on YouTube, because I gain more people in the family this way, going live in the vertical mode. I know people find me on the shorts feed, so people jump in, jump out. So if you happen to be scrolling through and checking me out, subscribe to the channel, join the family. We are a family, a community of progress. People that really, like myself, trying to be a better version of ourselves today than we were yesterday, making progress towards worthy goals. That's how we get fulfillment in life, by making progress towards worthy goals. Listen, I started on this personal growth, this positivity, this self-improvement journey over 35 years ago. I was in the LA Sheriff's Department, and I was pretty miserable in my job. I got to a point where I was miserable in my job, and I had decided, you know what? I'm going to leave this damn job, and I'm going to become a real estate agent. I'm going to get my real estate license. I'm going to make as much money as I want, have total control over my career, and I'm getting the hell out of this business. This is a terrible way. I no longer enjoy it. And you know what happened to me? I went, got my real estate license, and I got sent to sales training. Ended up getting exposed to Jim Rohn. Hey, if you're just jumping in, subscribe to the channel. I guarantee you're going to like my content. Most of the time, it's inspirational, motivational, personal growth. I learn things, and then I share them with you, and then I really learn them. That's the best way to learn, is to read, see, hear, receive something, and then share with somebody else. That's how you truly, really learn something. Not only that, having a positive impact on somebody else, having a positive impact on another person's life, maybe change their life in a positive way. No greater joy, better than $1 million. But here I was, disgruntled in my job, LA Sheriff's Department, over 35 years ago. I decide I'm leaving this job. I'm motivated to get my real estate license. And as I said, went to a Jim Rohn training seminar, a one-day seminar by Jim Rohn, who years earlier had employed Tony Robbins, who eventually went on to have his own seminar business. And I went to his unlimited Unleash the Power Within weekend, circa 1993. And that really did change my life. Now, he would say it didn't change my life. He would say the information that I got there, that I put into practice, changed my life. That's really the way it is. We don't change anybody else's lives. They change their own, but maybe we can have a positive influence. If you have a positive impact on somebody else, no greater joy. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I know people are jumping in and out. Vertical mode, live on YouTube, shows up in the shorts feed. People jump in and out all the time. So if you just jumped in or you're here, hey, subscribe to the channel, smash that button. Become part of the family so that you're notified when the next videos come out. Mostly I do long form videos, and I film my podcast, which has to do with personal growth, motivation, inspiration, how we can be better ourselves than we were yesterday. And that's the comparison we should make. We should be competing against ourselves and not against other people. It's good to model other people. It's good to model what they're doing. If we can find someone we can pick as a mentor, living or dead, personal or maybe at a distance, we can adopt their mentality, what they're doing, what they're saying, their philosophy in life. Usually it's available through books, videos, and we can have the mentors that we want. And what is mentorship? A transferring of wisdom, transferring of knowledge. So pick positive mentors. But that's how I got involved in this arena of personal growth. Because all of a sudden, after I went to that sales training, and then I started to change, and then my career changed. All of a sudden, I was enjoying my police job on the LA Sheriff's Department. All of a sudden, I was developing positive relationships. All of a sudden, I was making friends with people who could do things for me on the department. All of a sudden, I got promoted and I was making more money. And all of a sudden, my comedy and acting career took off, and all of a sudden, I was producing my own comedy specials at the Hollywood Palladium. I rented out the Roxy on Sunset. I had people come to my show, pay me to see me. I hired headlining comedians from all over Los Angeles to be my headliners. I opened for them. I filmed the shows. I was producing my own comedy shows because I had no limits. I had gone to the training, and bingo, I learned one of the secrets of life. When you change, things will change for you. See, it wasn't my negative relatives. It wasn't the economy. It wasn't the supervisors on the sheriff's department. No, it was me. I was responsible for my circumstances and how I was enjoying life and what I was achieving. And that is humbling initially, but then you get excited because since I'm the cause, I'm the one person that I have total control over. That means I can start making the changes in the blink of an eye right now. That gets me excited just talking about it. So that's when my life turned around, not just in my career, but personal life started to take off. Married a wonderful woman, like-minded. She saw what the Tony Robbins program did for me, and she says, hey, I want to do that. So she did the 30-day tape program. Every goal that she wrote down, she achieved. She always wanted a Jaguar. She got the Jaguar. She wanted a waterfront, beachfront property. She got it. Several other things she put on her vision board and goal list. She made them all come true. Her and I, like-minded. She said, if you ever find another Unleash the Power Within weekend that we can go together in person, I want to go with you. And so in 2019, so the first one I went to, circa 1993, right? My wife to be sees the changes in me and says, wait a minute, if that affects you that way, I got to be part of that. She takes the tape program, amazing changes. And now, fast forward 2019, her and I again go to a UPW, Unleash the Power Within weekend, LA Convention Center, Tony Robbins, but this time instead of 2,000 people, we're talking 15,000 people. Wow. And guess who shows up the last day? Pitbull. Pitbull shows up to speak at the Tony Robbins UPW event. That was really exciting. Pitbull, Cuban, my wife's Cuban, but he was such an inspiration. Imagine his mom would pick him up from school, and he was into rap, and he wanted to hear rap music because that was his passion. That's what he really loved. But no, all the way home from school, his mom was playing Tony Robbins tapes. And so over and over again, he was hearing these principles and values and things, and he was taking the limits off his life that he applied to his rap game, his rap music. Look where he is today. And that's what he said on stage. He says, you know what? And today, my jet is right out there, parked next to Tony Robbins. I'll tell you, this stuff can really be exciting because, listen, I have enough money now from my pension, investments, wrote a couple books, got my podcast, obviously have my YouTube channel. But listen, my channel is very small. Let me finish my point before I distract myself. Listen, I have a small channel, but you know what? Forget it. Forget the numbers. The numbers aren't important. What's important that you're doing what you need to do to get to the next level, to be the best you can be, better than you were yesterday. That is the secret to having a fulfilling life. Jim Rohn taught Tony Robbins, and I heard it from him at his seminar. It's not what you get, it's what you become that's most important. It is the journey. It's not the end result. If you think you're going to get this and that's going to make you happy, that's not going to be the case. You're going to find yourself, as a lot of people do, okay, I got this that I really wanted to have, and I'm still miserable. My mentality still isn't good. I thought this was going to turn things around by achieving. It's not in the achieving. It's what we become in going after what we've decided to go after. Jim Rohn said, set the goal to make $1 million in a year. Set that goal, not for the money. You don't set that goal for the money. You set it for what you're going to become in attaining it. You're going to become more. And that's the secret. When you know you're becoming more, when you're making progress towards a worthy goal, that's when you feel fulfilled. That's when you feel satisfied. That's when you're going to feel juiced up in life. And that's what I'm sharing with you. Not from me. I've learned it from other people. Now I'm sharing it with you. Hey, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I know people are jumping in, jumping out here. I'm on YouTube Live, vertical mode. And that's why I'm here that way, because I gain a lot of new people in a community of progress. And so glad to have you on board. Listen, you're going to like the content. It's mostly motivation, mostly inspiration, personal growth. I was a police officer for 35 years. 35 years a cop, and then also 35 years stand-up comedian and actor, involved in several different things and cultures and dealing with several different groups of people, but always with goals and open-mindedness. Neuroplasticity is the secret, everybody. Neuroplasticity, that our brains are and our minds are malleable. That's right. We can always learn new things. I don't care how old you are. You can learn a new language. You can learn an instrument. You can be 80 years old and start piano. Take off those limits. Unlimited. That's what I'm all about. I get excited just talking about this stuff. Sometimes my content is all over the place. Sometimes it may be current events, what's going on with somebody's life, or maybe something we can learn from, even though it's, topical. But most of my stuff is evergreen. It'll always be of great value. Even if you hear or see this 5 years from now, it's going to be of value to you. Listen, I'm on a good roll right now as far as staying strong and healthy. I'm on a 10-day goal right now of high intensity training for 10 days. And today was number 6 this Saturday, number 6, day 6. And I started today with 90 minutes of tennis. And after tennis, I went straight to the gym, 90 minutes in the gym, weight training, resistance, and then 25 minutes jumping rope, and then 15 minutes a walk on the beach. And now I'm here with you. I wanted to get here with you and share what I've been doing this day, not to impress you, but to impress upon you the potential that you have for greater and greater heights in your life. I know what I was trying to say, and I distracted myself. I was saying, listen, I have enough money now. I never have to work again. I got a pension, full medical, investment money coming in, several streams of income. Nothing really crazy great, but enough. I don't have to work again. So I do what I'm doing. Why write? Why produce videos? Why create content? Why edit the podcast? Why do all these things? Because why not be fully involved, fully invested in life? We got one life to live. It's fun. We can make it fun. If you're like me, then recently, in the last few months, you've been kicked in the balls and you've been knocked down. And I was down and out for a little while, but you know what? Life's always going to happen. But it doesn't have to happen to us. It can happen for us. And that's the perspective that we have to shift to. But we should feel the full range of our emotions. We should always feel the full range of our emotions. Feeling depressed or sad, most people, if not everybody, has good reason. People that are depressed or feeling sad usually have a good reason for it. But the thing they need to know is, and that I've had to learn is, it's episodic. Maybe somebody died in your family. Somebody left somebody. Something terrible has happened. Maybe look at it from a different perspective, that it's episodic. It's horrific. You're desperate. But it's something that you're going to go through. There's going to be a past to it. It's not forever. So I've felt sad. I've felt in despair recently. But I've also taken the tactics, tools, and strategy that I've learned over the last 35 years in personal growth. I took all those tools and I applied them to get me out of that state of mind. It's okay to grieve, be sad. I think showing emotions is a strength. It's not a weakness. But then we have to decide, okay, I can't change what has happened. But as I always say, and I've learned from 100 other people, we can change our reaction to it. Our initial reaction was probably right. But now we can switch to that automatic reaction, and now we can respond to what has happened to us. We always have to be open-minded. Open-mindedness, that's key. Hey, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I know people are jumping in and out. This is YouTube Live. I'm unscripted. There is no teleprompter. I'm speaking from the heart, stuff that came from here, comes into here, out the mouth, sharing it with you. And I like to go live because then you know it's unscripted. It's not a teleprompter. I can tell you that for sure. And it's from the heart to share with you, because having a positive impact on somebody else, no greater joy. I love it. And along the way, I know that I can't impact somebody else without impacting myself. I can't have a positive impact on anybody without positively impacting myself. So a little bit selfish, and a little bit selfish is okay. Don't let anybody criticize you for that, and don't criticize yourself for that. A little bit of selfish. If you're making yourself better, if you're focusing on making yourself a better communicator, right? A better person, controlling your emotions, who's going to benefit? The people around you, your spouse, your mother, your father, your son, your daughter, your brother, your sister, the people you work with, the people you interact with, people you haven't met yet. They're all going to benefit from the you that you've created and you've made. And you're a creator, my friend. That's for sure. There's no doubt in my mind. We can always do better. And that's really the juice of life, doing better than we did yesterday. Don't compare yourself. No failure. You know what? Take failure out of your vocabulary. Get rid of it. There's only learning. 3 out of 10. Baseball players, if they get 3 hits out of 10, they're batting 300. They make hundreds of millions of dollars. 7 times they didn't hit. 7 times in a row they strike out. Then 3 hits. They're batting 300, and they can make hundreds of millions of dollars. Listen, go for 300. Bat 300. That's a win. The other 7, you're just learning. That's what those hitters do. Do they get depressed and say, no, I'm a failure? No, they say, I'm batting 300. Pay me the money. Batting 300 in baseball is fantastic. And guess what? Batting 300 in life is also fantastic. Subscribe to the channel, everybody. You're going to like the content. I'm going to guarantee you. You get my guarantee. You know, I took a primal health coaching program 4 years ago, and there's 10 principles of health to make really living strong and healthy so easy. It doesn't have to be complicated. People like to complicate it. Businesses like to complicate it because they make a lot of money. Never diet again. Adopt a lifestyle that's going to help you be strong and healthy. 10 principles that I learned that are so easy to do. You don't have to measure foods and, weigh things out. It's hard to sustain that. Yes, all diets work because on every diet, you operate in a deficit, a calorie deficit. And so you're taking in less calories than you're burning. And the longer you go in deficit, the more weight you're going to lose. But can you sustain that? Not for very long. Sure, you do it for a while and you look good, you feel good. But hey, delicious, nutrient-dense foods, that's where it's at. At the Primal Health Coach Institute, where I got certified as a health coach, they give you an approved food list, and it is unbelievable. There's so many foods you can eat. You're not restricting yourself. The unapproved foods, which are really just processed, chemically altered oils and sugars, no. The approved list, nutrient-dense, delicious foods. Healthy fats is where it's at. Healthy fats, avocado, eggs, nuts, real butter, not margarine. These are healthy for you, going to make you strong and healthy. Like me, I don't know what age you are. If you're 20, 30, 40, 50, you're already naturally still strong. You haven't started to go downhill at all yet, but you will. But you can kind of make that minimal by exercise, nutrient-dense foods, moving a lot. Those are the kind of things that you can do, and they're easy. But one of the principles is to always be learning. Read something new, learn a new skill, and that's neuroplasticity. Your brain, I don't care what age you are, can learn a new skill, can learn something new that you can apply to your life. And when you're always learning, you're creating new dendrites in your brain, and you're just going to stay young mentally. You always want to be learning something new. You know, I've studied NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, for years, body language, how to communicate better, sales training, but I never get to the point where I think, I've learned it all. You know what? I've already heard that before. You never want to get to that point. Even if it's something you have heard before, it might be from a new perspective. It might be from somebody who's taken it and applied it in a different way, or they got different results. Never get to the point where you're shutting information down. You're too smart. The person in the room who thinks they know it all is the dumbest person in the room. And that's why I just finished 4 weeks of an improv class. Now, I did stand-up comedy for 25 years, studied NLP, communication, body language, all these things, but I kept driving by this funky dog improv theater right down the street from me here in Melbourne, Florida. And I thought, you know what? Maybe I'll take an improv class. I've had to use improv to a certain extent in my stand-up comedy career when I've forgotten my jokes, lost my place, or there was a heckler in the crowd and you got to interact with the crowd, or maybe you're doing what they call crowd work. You're talking to the crowd, trying to find the joke within what they've given you. It's unscripted, and it's exciting to be really in the moment doing that. And that's what improv is about. What improv does, this is what I got out of the class. Had an excellent instructor, Kraz, but what I got out of the class is this improv class. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Smash the subscribe button. You're going to get notified when the next video comes out. You're going to like my content. My channel is about positivity, inspiration, personal growth, things that can help us get to the next level, not only financially, but physically, mentally. You stay strong physically, it's going to affect you mentally, and it's going to affect you financially, believe me. But this improv class, what it taught me was, and it teaches everybody that does improv, is to be in the moment with your scene partner that you're playing with. And you play these games in improv training where it has an intention to train you to be present with your partner, supporting them. And you can't time travel back or forward or start to have a preconceived idea of what you're going to say when the person you're interacting with gets done talking. The games are set up. So no, you have to be present and listening to what your partner is saying. And then when they're done talking, it's not about being fast and reacting. It's about making choices and responding, just like you can do in a conversation in a normal setting. That's why I was able to take all these skills in this improv class, take it to the street with me. I'd say take it to the street. I mean, you can take it home with you. You can take it with people you work with, people you're just talking to at a coffee shop. You can be more present and really listening to what they're saying and really not reacting and thinking in your head, what am I going to say? How am I going to say this? When am I going to jump in this conversation? No, you're there listening intently. And when they're done talking, you'll make the proper choice in responding, supporting who you're talking with. That doesn't mean you have to agree with them. Even improv, you don't have to agree with them on the premise, but you want to support them in that premise. It's almost like yes and. There's a game called yes and. You yes and your partners to train you to be supportive in your scene partner. And I had to learn this the hard way. A couple times I was negating the premise. I was negating what my partner said. I was doing the opposite of what you're supposed to do in improv scene work. But I learned by doing the wrong thing. Sometimes that's how we learn. No failure, teaching moment, as I like to share in the class. And I got a laugh out of that. But you learn to support your scene partner in improv. You say yes and. Yes, your dog did die, but and you have another dog that's going to support you. Yes, and yes, that's true. And this is also true. And you might even bring it back to yourself. But each time you're supporting your partner in what they said, and hopefully what they said is also teeing up for you a way that you can progress the story that you and your scene partner have now created out of nothing. And that's what's exciting about improv work, playing with your scene partner, but also skills that you're taking with you outside of the improv setting, outside in the real world, to make you even better communicator, for my sake, even better than I was before. And I thought I learned quite a bit, but I'm always open-minded. I'm always open to hear another perspective, open to new information. Maybe, like in politics or current affairs, what's going on in the world, we may have made the right choice for us based on the information that we have received, but maybe that's not accurate, or maybe it's not complete. So we should always be open to new information that comes through. That's why some of your best journalists are people that report to you, but they let you know, and their opinion is, hey, this is new information. This is what we know right now. This could change as new information comes in. And we need to always have that as our model. Well, let's always be open to new communication coming in. Listen, be strong and healthy. Please. Life can be so great when you're strong, healthy, not taking medication, psychiatric or otherwise. The 10 principles from the Primal Health Coach Institute are these, okay? You want to be moving a lot. This is something I wasn't doing for probably 20 years. I was always consistent, getting my workouts in, right? 45 minutes to an hour in the gym, lifting weights. But then I wasn't moving a lot throughout the rest of the day. That's the secret to health. Be moving a lot throughout your day. Yes, do your strength training workouts, whatever that may be. And maybe for weight training, especially when you get over a certain age, 40, 50, you only need to work out 2 to 3 times a week, maybe 30, 45 minutes. And that's it. If you do that, you can maintain, gain strength. But the secret is to be moving throughout the day. So move a lot throughout the day. Principle number 1. 2, stay away from chemically altered oils and sugars and processed foods. Stay away from that. Number 3, eat nutrient-dense foods, delicious, nutrient-dense foods. Lift heavy things. The next one is lift heavy things. Every once in a while, lift heavy things. So once a week, I deadlift. I lift something heavy. Weight-bearing exercises on our frame is so healthy for us. It really, when the bones have to, every once in a while, they have to sustain a heavy weight. Weight-bearing exercises, really, really healthy for you. Get plenty of sleep, important. There's ways to get plenty of sleep. If you're having trouble sleeping, there's a way to limit your screen time. Limit before you go to bed what you've eaten or drinking. And then keep your room cold. Keep it dark. And you're going to enhance your sleep. Get plenty of sunshine, right? Listen, I've got skin cancers. I just had a couple frozen on my head. But my dermatologist says, well, you don't have to stay out of the sun completely, but use good judgment. If you get a good 15, 20 minutes of direct sunlight, you're going to have all the vitamin D you need for 3 or 4 days. So get plenty of sun, then play at something you're not competing at. Maybe you're golfing just for fun, playing volleyball for fun. I play tennis for fun. Play something for fun. Sprint every 7 to 10 days, sprint. That's back when our primal ancestors were hunter-gatherers. They would always have to sprint every once in a while to catch some game, right? To try to, get their food for the week. So they didn't do cardio for hour after hour. They saved their energy for when they had to sprint. So sprint. I think that's why my testosterone, I've never done TRT therapy. I've never taken testosterone supplements. And my testosterone levels are over 700. They were 720. Now my free available was a little bit low, but my total testosterone, age 68, over 700, take no supplements or no TRT of any kind. And the doctor says, I'm not going to give you any because you're already 720, so you don't need it. So sprint every 7 to 10 days. And then don't do stupid things. That's really number 9. Do not do stupid things. Do not drink and drive. Do not text and drive. Don't go up and down stairs, not paying attention to what you're doing, head in your phone. In other words, don't do stupid things that can get you hurt and or killed. Don't do those things. And number 10, of course, is always be learning something new, reading a new book, things of that nature. And that's so easy to do. You don't have to be measuring foods and weighing stuff. I mean, those things are important. You could do those things for a short time. You can do those things, you can find a baseline so that maybe you check, okay, when I have this meal of 3 eggs and my protein drink, I'm actually getting 60 grams of protein. And so each time you have that meal, you already know how many grams you're getting. Okay, when I have this can of tuna and water, it's 29 grams of protein, together with this breast of chicken, which is 45. Now I'm getting, okay, I've got about 70 grams of protein on this meal. So, once you know some of the values of your food that you're going to be repeating over and over again, well, then you kind of know and you can keep good track of what you're doing. Now me, for my moving around a lot, walking, obviously, I hate running. And thank God running's really not the best for you. I'm glad it turned out to be, because I used to always try to run with my wife, who was a great runner at one time. But then her back got injured and now she's a walker. She walks 4 to 6 miles a day. I don't do that much, but I do jump rope. I love jumping rope. I love playing tennis. Do something you love. What kind of exercise should I do? What's the best exercise? The best exercise is the one that you will do. Hey, YouTube, vertical mode. People are jumping in and out, so subscribe to the channel. Smash that button. We are gaining in our community of progress here. I got a small channel, but it's growing. And it's not about the numbers for me. It's about positively impacting other people. That's the joy that I get, authentically, truthfully, from my heart. That's why I'm talking to you live, so that you know there is no papers here. I have no notes. There's no teleprompter. And I have no script. So today I'm just sharing things with you from my heart. I was watching Steve Harvey. If you haven't caught already, Steve Harvey, on his channel, he has a bunch of motivational videos, and you can tell it's him on set at Family Feud during a break or when they're changing the set, and he's giving words of wisdom to the audience. Mostly it's Bible-based, godly words of wisdom, and as he says, right, the best self-help book, the best personal finance book, the best self-achievement book is the Bible. He mostly reads Proverbs over and over again, right? The wisdom of Solomon, and he reads 4 or 5 other verses over and over again, but he applies Bible principles and verses to his life, and look what's happened to him, and he shares that with other people. And he says, if you're really a Christian who follows the Bible and doing what you're supposed to be doing, you should be very prosperous, and there's no reason why you shouldn't be wealthy. The Bible says you should be living life more abundantly, that you can make yourself prosperous. God has done his part, and now you do yours, and you can make yourself prosperous. But you got to do it. You have to take the action. God has done his part, and he's not going to do it for you. God said, I'm going to feed every bird, but I'm not going to put food in the nest. They got to do it. They got to get out. They got to take action, just like you and I. You and me together, we got to take action. But Steve Harvey was sharing a story, and I've heard this story, a couple of versions, a couple of different times, and it's so impacting to me. He talks about a flea, like on your dog, a dog flea, cat flea. That flea has a vertical leap of over 30 feet. You know how much power that is times its actual body weight that it can jump? 30 vertical feet. A flea can jump 30 feet in the air. And if you put that flea in a jar, put the cap on, that flea will continue to jump with the power to jump 30 feet. But after a while, when they've hit that lid so many times, they will adjust how high they jump to just below that lid, just below that lid. And then if you introduced other fleas and they had baby fleas, those baby fleas would grow up seeing what the other fleas are doing, and they would model that they're jumping so high, so high. And those baby fleas would start jumping 6 inches, just below the cap of that jar. They still have the ability. They were born with the ability to jump 30 feet. They could physically jump 30 feet vertical, but they jump 6 inches because of what they've seen and learned since the time they were born. Isn't that what we do as human beings? We look at our parents, our family, our friends, what people have said to us, and what we see in our environment, and that's the limits to what we do and or grow. But we don't have to. We're born unlimited. Be strong in the Lord and his mighty power. You can do anything through Christ our Lord. Listen, you're born. You're meant for more. Forget the fleas. Take the cap off the jar. You're not limited. Whatever vertical height you can jump to. Metaphorically, your life. Jim Rohn used to talk about, I make $50,000 a year. Is that enough? Is $50,000 successful? Yes, if it's the best you can do. If $50,000 is the best you can do, you're doing great. But if you're meant for more, then you're not doing so great. You'd be surprised what you're meant for. And I know you were born with an internal void that says there's something missing. I would say it's accepting Jesus Christ, because once you're fulfilled there, you'll be surprised what's going to happen in your life. But you already know you are born with a drive in your heart that is not fulfilled yet. You're meant for more. That's why you're here. I'm glad you're here, because you're giving me a gift of an opportunity to have a positive impact on your life. That's what my channel is all about, everybody. And that's why I wanted to go live today and talk to you about these principles and values. And when you read and or listen or study anybody in the personal growth, self-improvement, motivation, inspirational niche, if you take the wisdom that they are imparting, you can actually trace that back to other people. And if you keep tracing it back, you'll find out that 98, maybe even more % of the principles and values are taken from the Bible. Biblical principles and values like sowing and reaping, right? Being kind. Let your gentleness be evident to all. The Lord is near. These kind of things. And it's exciting. And as I said before, I have enough money. I don't have to work anymore. But now I do things for the joy of it. I'm putting value out there. I'll sell books. I'll sell coaching. I'll sell things because it's fun to be invested in life. We have one life to live. And listen, if we can expand our reach, right? Initially, your reach might be only your spouse, your immediate family. But as you grow in wisdom and knowledge, you can start to expand your reach. And that's how, starting today, you're going to change the world. I'm excited for you. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you checked into my channel. Hey, subscribe. You're going to enjoy the content. I guarantee it. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still studying so many things. But I'm going to share them with you always. And so, you and I together, we're going to get to the next level for each of us. And we all have greatness within us. Hey, let's go after it. With joy in our hearts, let's be joyful achievers. There's nothing that's more fun than that. All right, everybody, you know I love you. Subscribe to the channel. Join a community of progress. See you in the next video.